the real deal. I've been up and down Pharaoh. Free on bro, you did a real kill. Off the liquor and some pill pills. I've been at it since a church. Work. Tell little baby, make it twerk. Twerk. Go crazy, go crazy. Bro, pass me the rock. I've been moving out the box. Top speed going top. 101 going pop. Getting hot. In the paint, never flop. At the rim like who? Get the crown like Brian. Yeah. Make it some and I'll spend it some. What's the plan? Bet I get it done. It's me, yeah, nigga.
Variety Sports Network. Built different.
What's good, boys?
Yeah. What's up, bro? Talk to me. How y'all doing?
I thought I saw a mosquito in my room. Bro, I don't mess with mosquitoes, bro.
A mosquito?
Bro, them things are dead. They kill millions of people all around the world,
I
bro.
hate mosquitoes, man. Least favorite animal.
Y'all bugging. Oh my god.
Okay. I like spiders, or that's why I don't hate spiders. Take out mosquitoes.
Wait, you don't like spiders?
No, I like
so you
spiders.
just flew by me,
That's
man.
why you
Ooh.
like spiders. So you're a Kevin Durant fan. Got it. Okay.
No.
Okay.
He's like,
Oh, no, that's
the only
Kevin
spider he
Durant.
likes
All right, I'm really showing my knowledge
is
here.
Spider in the Utah Jazz.
Oh god. Oh yeah.
They call him Durantula. You know, that's why I was like going there.
Right, Durantula. Then there's Spider Mitchell. I don't know if there's anyone else. Spider Siakam, Zach's boy.
All right,
Calvin's
we're reaching
favorite
now.
player is Rudy Gobert.
My favorite player,
Yeah,
Rudy Gobert.
yeah.
You know, actually, you're absolutely right. When I'm at the park, I model my game after Rudy.
Oh man, your offensive game.
Yeah,
Oh,
yep.
oh,
I do absolutely
gosh.
nothing that is relevant to the game.
Fall over. Try a Euro step. Fall over. Throw it up.
I'm literally a great rebounder. I play good defense, and I do nothing to contribute to the offense. That's my game. So
I'm seeing a lot of Rudy is taking all the criticism back better than ever. I'm seeing all those stories coming out.
yeah. Well, I mean, Rudy.
Good for him.
Oh man.
It'll be
All
cool
right.
for the playoffs again.
That's true. That's true.
Think
We'll
I'm
see where
done.
they get in the playoffs, and we'll tell you what we think here in a second.
Oh snap!
What's up, Nick? You good?
No, I made my screen super little. It scared me.
What's up, deal?
All right. We got everybody in the building. Sides in the building. Dylan's in the building. Dan's in the building.
True. Dan,
You're
you
gonna make me
suck.
drink in
Sorry,
this
bro.
game, man.
I had to do it.
All right. Let's get started. What we starting with first?
What you want to start with? Like,
Lame one or a cool one? Coach of the year.
pick one. You pick.
What
What are we starting with?
That's a good one. Let's do
I'll start.
most improved.
Okay. Most
Oh.
improved.
Player.
Most improved. James, who you got?
All right, I kind of zagged on this one a little bit. I went with SGA, Shea Gilgeous, because he missed most of last year, held out. When he was playing last year, though, the Thunder were actually close to 500. Good team. And he had one of his best year to date. So I think a full season. The only way this pick doesn't work is if they shut him down halfway through, if they're playing too well. And that's my biggest fear. But a guy coming back from injury, a lot of talent. He can put up a lot of big numbers on that terrible Thunder team. I like Shea.
I like the Shea pick. I kind of bounced back and forth with Michael Porter Jr., but I ultimately chose Lonzo Ball because I think the change of scenery is going to be a big improvement as far as his game goes. The Bulls are just going to be a really fun team to watch this year, and I think if Lonzo gets creative with his passing, like he did in the past, then I think that it could lead to him maybe averaging somewhere around like 11, 12 assists a game, maybe somewhere like 13, 14 points, maybe a double-double a game kind of guy. And he's a good rebounding guard. So, I mean, if he puts up some rebounds, his numbers will be there. And then it all depends on how the Bulls ultimately do as a team. But I went Lonzo Ball here. I like the Lonzo
I like
Ball.
that. I think you automatically improve as a player when you leave New Orleans.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. And now he's got Zach LaVine next to him, somebody who can actually shoot the ball. Great.
I don't like the way this is going because I have to agree with you, Calvin. Damn.
You got Lonzo too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been watching him that just that the stroke of his 3-pointer that he changed up is like, to me, it's like I think he's gonna really prosper over there playing with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, all those guys. Like, it's just there's a confidence he has in him right now where, like, when I know it's preseason, but just the way he's playing right now, he has this little swag to him where he's like, yeah, I'm out here to prove something. Like, that wasn't me. And I said, for him to fix that jump shot, Ben Simmons, you could do it too, bro.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah,
I don't know. Is it bad that I thought about like maybe putting Ben Simmons in that category just strictly if he starts making some threes?
I mean, Westbrook didn't ever do it. So
okay.
you know. It's,
okay. Yeah, we can move on from that topic. We don't need to talk about.
Well, that's what's tough about this award. It's like, if you're injured for a whole season, obviously, then anything you do looks better. But then if you're playing in New Orleans and you go to a better situation, it looks better. So it's tough to judge. It's like apples and bananas. It's like Lonzo could have a good year, but then like my pick could have better numbers. But it's like he's only most improved because he was out half the year.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a good one to start with. Get it out of the way.
Most improved player is a tough one to pick, especially from just the field.
Another person I would put up there though that I think was going to take like a thing is I think John Morant's going to take like another leap.
You think he's going to take another step?
I think he's going to take another leap, especially in that East. I mean, the West. I was trying to think so. In the West, when I get to my list, I have him above some teams. So
the West does drop off after like 6 or 7, and the Grizzlies have a chance to lead that second tier if they care about that. But
I agree.
Ja was wild last year. He put on stretches where he looked like the second coming of Westbrook or whoever you want to call him. And then there's other times where he was inconsistent, was forcing it too much, wasn't distributing enough. So if he could put it all together, which I don't see why not, he's only continued to improve. And Dylan Brooks is a great second fiddle to him. Kind of an underrated guy. He's not going to put up any numbers, but he's a guy who could help Ja get to this most improved status.
What Ja did last year reminds me a lot, and I'm not saying player comparison side by side, but I'm saying like he reminds me of what Devin Booker was doing when he was with the Suns when they weren't good. Like he was trying to do everything by himself, and then there was times where he was finding his rhythm with his teammates, and he looked amazing, and the team looked great, and you thought, wow, these guys could actually be something. And then he tried to force some more stuff to do it on his own, and then you're right back to square one. But I think that team has slightly improved in the offseason from where they were last year. I think they'll be better this year, especially if he takes another step.
Yeah, young team. Really get more experience.
Where are we going next, boys?
Coach?
Coach?
Let's do coach.
Okay. Go ahead, James.
I got Nate McMillan. Everyone was riding his coattails when he took over the Hawks and they started playing better, even though their schedule wasn't the best. But this team is just deep, top to bottom, and they're one of those teams that, because they shoot the ball so prolifically, that they could be a really high-win regular season team. I don't necessarily know what that means for the playoffs, but Bogdanovich, another year in that system. Trae Young's on the ascent. And because he didn't win the award last year when some thought he would, I think it's a great opportunity if the Hawks win 50-plus games for him to win. Because it's tough to win this award if you're supposed to be good. Like, Budenholzer's not going to win this. Nash isn't going to win this.
Right.
Unless Nash, gives Kyrie the vaccine himself and that he's being able to play, and then they win 60 games. That's the only way Nash is winning this award.
That's I agree with the made coaches per se aren't going to win the award because the award is kind of something that's given to the most improved coach, like somebody that takes a team from where they were to what they are now per se. I sound like a Bulls fan right now, but I got Billy Donovan just because if that team goes from a non-playoff team to a 6th, 5th seed competing in the East, I don't know. I love the pick of they moved the most in the offseason as far as building up as a team to become something. And if Billy Donovan can actually coach that system into something and they have a positive record afterwards, then I think you have to lean that way. The other one I would say that's kind of a sleeper pick, but also I doubt it'll happen is Steve Kerr. If the Warriors come back and they are what they used to be, He might sneak into the award, but I don't know. Nick,
I think this is the year that Monty Williams and the Phoenix Suns get the respect
Oh,
they deserve. I felt he should have won last year.
I thought he did, and then I looked it up before this. I was like, wait, Tibbs won? I was like, I don't know. I feel like
that
Boston
Knicks
won.
team was special though. Tibbs deserved to win
Yeah.
last year. That was
I mean,
different.
the Knicks have been terrible since I've been alive. So I was like, since I've been able to watch the Knicks, the best player I remember watching was Stephon Marbury,
Walt
and
Frazier.
then like Carmelo and all that stuff. But yeah, I think Monty Williams, he'll get it. I think the Suns are gonna be. I'm not saying they're gonna win the championship. I'm not going that far, but I think they're gonna be a very good regular season team, kind of like the Jazz and the Nuggets kind of are. That team that figures it out, and then when stuff changes in the playoffs, as we know it, But I think he gets the nod this time.
I like that pick. I think that's not something that people were really thinking about, especially if they improve over last year.
Yeah.
I think that could be dangerous.
Yeah, especially putting back to back, like especially if they're the 1 or the 2 seed going in the West, being the 1 seed 2 years in a row when you're not LA or whoever else, that would be impressive. I like the Billy Donovan pick though, just because it's basically like a fantasy drafted team, and he has to put all these guys together, and they don't necessarily complement. The Ball-Levine duo complements well, but then DeRozan kind of throws that off, and then Vukovic. It's a really weird team that won't have any defense. So if he can get them to play any defense, he should win that award. What about Quinn Snyder? Has a 0% chance to win this, right? I mean, they were
100%.
2 seed last year. They were almost the 1 seed, and no one talked about him winning it. I just don't know what the reality were. And he's a good coach, but it's just one of those narrative things. And then my second dark horse, what would Jason Kidd, how high would the Mavericks have to finish for Jason Kidd to get some buzz?
I think at least top
third.
4.
I think
okay.
third in the West. I think
I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't like Kidd the coach, but
it's a very possible pick though, because I mean, what were they last year? They were the 6th seed, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, something like that.
I think the
Clippers
6th
were the 3rd. But like, if they can move to that 3rd seed, then I like the pick, because Jason Kidd, I mean, he hasn't had the greatest pass as far as coaching goes, and if he can change something in Luka's game or maybe make that team a little bit better somehow, then I love it. That's a great pick. That's a great pick. Real quick, Dan in the comments said, "How do you guys feel about the Clippers?"
Playoff P, baby.
Well, I have them when we do the season. I have them making the play-in. I don't think Kawhi is coming back this year. Kawhi is always super vague, and so if we're just talking about playoff P with that roster, Ty Lue's a good enough coach where, and we'll get to this later too. And the West really drops off after the 8-9 area, so I don't think they're bad enough to miss the play-in altogether. They're almost a lock to at least make the play-in with Paul George. We got some shooters. We'll see if Terrence Mann was just taking advantage of Gobert in the playoffs or if he's actually good.
Right.
Fun team. They got, a lot of shooters. Reggie Jackson's coming back. He looks more confidence. So I feel like, man.
Yeah. No, I get that, because, I mean, I the Reggie coming back thing is kind of interesting, because if he can play as well as he did in the playoffs, his team could be kind of almost slept on, if that makes any sense, in the West. Like, they could be a scary, dangerous team if Reggie Jackson plays to that level. And then I don't know if we're getting Kawhi back or not this year, but that's to be determined. But if Kawhi comes back, Reggie's playing at a high level, and Paul's playing at a high level, then it could be an interesting little team we got there.
Man. Yeah, I don't know. I have the Clippers barely making it. So, I mean, I'm trying not to give all my info until we get to that part. But, I think with Kawhi out, it's like teams will find a way to play. I mean, they'll have other people beat them than Paul George. I mean, but that's still it's not like James said. The drop-off is so bad after a certain point. Zion's out in New Orleans for at least two weeks. Yeah. The Rockets are young. Sacramento has a ton of guards. Minnesota's Minnesota. And, Yeah.
Minnesota. What next? 6 man?
6-man. I like 6-man. I can take this one
Yeah,
first.
go for it.
I'm going back to back here. I
Bold?
like Jordan Clarkson.
Oh, okay.
I love Jordan Clarkson. Maybe it's because he was drafted to the Lakers. Maybe it's because he's just a great ball player. But yeah, I mean, Jordan Clarkson did a lot of work last year. That was great. I think he just has another standout season this year and does the same thing. But the dark horse I have that I'll say is Patty Mills up in Brooklyn.
God, this I'm reading my mind, Calvin.
I love Patty Mills in Brooklyn as a little sleeper. I don't know why, but I just feel like if Kyrie can't play and they're sharing time between like I don't know Tyler Johnson and Patty Mills, then that could be a little something that they got going on up there where he comes off the bench for 23, 24 minutes a game and does something special.
Ooh, little Patty. Did you see that Jordan Clarkson video where the local news interviewed him?
Oh my gosh.
That was hilarious.
You
spell out your name?
No idea who he was.
Yeah, he did right along with it. I actually have a Jazz player. I think Ingles wins it this year because he was getting some buzz for it last year. He really runs the Jazz second unit. And it's tough to win this award it's tough to win any award back to back because voters just get like kind of tired. But Ingles does a lot for that Jazz second unit. Everyone put him in every trade rumor this offseason. He stayed. They didn't trade him. He shoots the lights out of the ball. He needs to be a little more aggressive because Jazz fans, I'm in Utah now, and Jazz fans are so annoying with his true shooting percentage. And it's like he shoots 3 shots a game. So he hits two of the 3. So he needs to be a little more assertive, and I think if he does that, and I mean Clarkson doesn't know how not to shoot, so it's kind of tough for Ingles when he's on the floor with Clarkson. But I kind of like Ingles, so it'll be back-to-back Jazz players, but not the same guy.
Understood. Hey Nick, what do you got?
I had Patty Mills. I love that him going to the Nets. I was hyped. That's not even my team. I was just hyped for him. Like
it's just fun basketball to watch.
Yeah, this dude can play the game like crazy. If I had to pick like a very dark horse, I guess I'm gonna go with Alex Caruso on the Bulls.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm just gonna go with somebody I think is just gonna have fun, ball out. Boy just got paid. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I mean it's a dark horse, so we're going with it.
Enemy AC 130, baby.
But if it happens, I said it first. Remember that?
Yeah, true.
You should bet on it.
TikTok.
I would bet on it. I'd be like, yeah, that didn't happen. He's averaging 3 points a game now.
Oh man.
All right, I'll be honest.
Where are we going?
What's next?
We should just get Nick's category out of the way. Let's do Rookie of the Year. Nick, you can go first.
Jalen Green.
Oh,
Houston Rockets. He's gonna struggle a bit, but I think Cade's his only competition, but I know Cade's injured right now. Evan Mobley, he looks too raw. There's a few rooks that I'm like, I don't know. They might do some good, but I think Jalen Green takes it because the Rockets need scoring.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go Jalen Green, so I kind of just went with Cade just to be different. You could really make the case for each of them. Cade to me is just a little more polished now. I guess playing the Big 12 and playing the G League isn't too much of a difference, but yeah, Cade just looks a little bit more finished, and I think he'll help him. The first year, the Pistons team doesn't have much else to offer, where the Rockets, as we've talked about, kind of do have some scorers on that team. Maybe not prolific, but enough to take away some of the flashy numbers from Green. And then the only other real choice you could maybe make is Suggs, but that Magic team is so bad that he would have to just go berserk.
Insane, yeah. I got Jalen Green for the Houston Rockets. Purely because I do agree that Cade is probably going to have more opportunity in Detroit. But I feel like Jalen Green just might get focused on because I don't know what the Houston Rockets really want to do. If they just want to focus on their future and give him as many opportunities as possible, he might take 35 shots a game. And if he does, then
It is.
It's hard to pass up on him with the numbers he's probably going to have. I mean, if he takes 35 shots, he's probably going to average 27 a game. I don't know, for the Houston Rockets, losing by 30 every game. So
I do have a dark horse pick on Detroit. It's not Cade. I think I like Luka Garza.
Oh,
he was
Iowa.
balling in. I know it's the summer league. That's the Sacramento Kings spot, but that boy was balling, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this dude right here!" Now I need to see it transition to the NBA because my guy on the Rockets was balling too in the summer league, and now he's going against dudes like Montrezl Harrell, and he getting murdered. So, yeah, I need to see what happens. But that's my dark horse, Luka Garza.
A fun dark horse that Dylan would appreciate is Duarte for the Pacers because he's like 20, 23. It'll be like when Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year. He comes in as a veteran, the Brandon Whedon's strategy. But since he's already since he already has that experience
right now,
that'd be a fun one. He can shoot, and the Pacers could use some offense.
So my dark horse pick is Hillbilly Kobe, Austin Reeves for the Lost. I don't like you, Caleb.
That wasn't Caleb.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, I'll just put it out there.
He's gonna jump
Austin
on
Reeves, Hillbilly Kobe, just because he has the nickname, and I'm a Lakers fan, so I'm biased.
That boy's been balling though for y'all.
He's a crazy shooter.
All right, was that Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
I guess Defensive Player of the Year.
Here's my zag. You guys wanted to put Ben Simmons as comeback. I put him as my Defensive Player of the Year.
Ooh, I like that.
In Philly or wherever he is, it'll be essentially the same thing. You could make the case he should have won it last year. And anytime that happens, players seem to – and he's a petty player. He was petty about Rookie of the Year. So I feel like not winning Defensive Player of the Year on top of all the other pettiness of this offseason. But I think he really just hones in on defense again. He's a great defensive player, and he's almost underrated as a player now. So Ben Simmons, half with the Sixers, half with whoever else.
Nick, who you got?
This was a tough one for me. I'm thinking I wanted to go with like Anthony Davis and give him I think he's going to take a step. But I went with, I think Draymond Green's going to just ball out because he got his boy Clay back. So I went with Draymond. I think he comes out balling crazy. And that Warriors team scares me a bit.
Okay.
But my dark horse is DeAndre Ayton from Phoenix.
Oh, really? DeAndre
Yeah, I think him not getting his contract, he's gonna go out ball and then
leave.
He's gonna be like, bye.
Let's see y'all. So I have Anthony Davis, not being biased or anything. He's a shot blocker, man. You know what? If he blocks,
that's fair.
3 shots a game, then you can't really do anything about it. But
yeah.
My dark horse, I guess it's a dark horse, but I agree with James because I think Ben Simmons, if he plays again this year, wherever he is going to be, if he does play wherever, he has a realistic chance to win it because he's just a lockdown defender. And if he comes out with a will to want to do something or prove to whatever team he's playing for that he's that guy, then, that gives him the motive to do it. So I had AD and Ben Simmons. Those are my pick and my sleeper.
Sorry. They scored.
Baseball's badass.
Yeah, for sure. My dark horse, not getting brownie points here, but if he plays a full season, Miles Turner actually led the league in blocks per blocks per game, whatever it was, and he beat. And Gobert was all upset about losing the block title, but because Turner wasn't healthy all year, he couldn't get the award. So, yeah, much love. Miles Turner, Chris Duarte, Dylan's should stop listening when we get to the playoff seeding. He will not be where he wants him to be. But yeah, there's my dark horse.
Okay, I think that leaves us just one.
MVP.
James, go ahead.
not biased. For the third time in 4 years, I think Giannis. Here's my Bucks theory. I'll get to this when we get to the seeding. The Bucks are going to be the most comfortable defending champs, maybe at least in recent history. No one expects them to do anything. Everyone says they got lucky, blah blah blah. The Nets, this and that. All the pressure is on the Nets, and it's getting even worse now with this Kyrie thing. The one player who I think it's time though is Luka. So, but Jason Kidd scares me. I mean, Giannis wasn't winning MVPs when Jason Kidd was the Bucks coach, and there could be a reason for that. So that's why I went with Giannis. But if Jason Kidd maybe learned from his mistakes and uses that experience to make Luka even better, I'll go Luka. But my pick is Giannis.
Nick, what about you?
James is gonna love me for this. I went with Anthony Davis. I think he finally takes that stardom thing, and I feel he needs to. For the Lakers, I mean, they have injuries with all their young guys right now. I feel for the Lakers to be a legitimate threat to, I would say, the Nets or the Bucks in the East, or even the Philly. I think he needs to take that next step and show why he is the first star there, because LeBron needs some damn help, bro. Hey. So, yeah, I went with Anthony Davis. Doesn't taste right in my mouth, but I said
I was going to love you for that. I'm not.
I love that. That makes me very happy. Nick.
That's a good dark horse. I put Davis as a solid dark horse. If the Lakers are winning the title, Davis would have to play at that level.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
25, 12, and 3 blocks. That's mine.
There you got, Cal.
He needs for MVP. But James stole my thunder on this one, but I got Luka Doncic because I love Luka. As much as it pains to say that my favorite player plays for a different team in the NBA currently, I love Luka Doncic, and I think he does take that next step. And I think Jason Kidd just stays out of his way. I think Jason Kidd listens to what Luka wants to do and says, "Hey, okay." I think Jason Kidd becomes the Mike McCarthy of the NBA. He just gets out of the way, says, "Hey, this is your offense. You do what you want to do, okay?" Now, real quick, because the comment section is going crazy, my dark horse pick is Joel Embiid. If Ben Simmons sits out and the Sixers have any amount of success like they did last year, it's because Embiid is going to be dropping 30, 15, and 4. Like, he'll be balling out of his mind if they are as successful.
If I have to pick a dark horse, I'm going with.
You already did.
I go with Trae Young, man. I feel Trae Young and Luka are those two guys that we're gonna be talking about for a long time. Same draft, same
trade.
The trade. It's just like, and I think he's playing in the East. I don't think and it's kind of hard. I feel like he can be a third, fourth, and get it. Whereas I think Luka kind of needs to be a third automatically in the West. But Dylan said he has Devin Booker, his dark horse.
Devin Booker's a good pick.
Boy's a baller.
That boy is a baller.
Well, if Zach was here, it'd be what, Siakam.
He's gonna come in now and be like, "I hate you, Jay."
He's just listening.
That's funny.
Worst player of the year, Siakam, man.
I should have done that for most improved.
Oh man. All right, what we got?
Go ahead.
What's the next one? All NBA first team, I think.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. So this is going with 2 forwards, 2 guards, and a center?
Correct. Go ahead, James, if you want to lead out here.
You guys want to do position by position? My center is Embiid.
Your center is Embiid. Nick?
My center is, I'm going with the Joker.
I'm going with the Joker as well.
Oh.
I think the Joker is going to be a silent assassin this year.
He's not going to win MVP, but he's going to ball. He's going to do very well. And Embiid could be that guy.
Well, that's the thing. If Embiid plays at that MVP level, then you would have to.
Yeah, then you have to give it to him.
Oh, yeah, you got to, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jokic is like never the sexy pick, but he just goes and gets his.
He's like the Tim Duncan of this era almost. Not greatness wise,
Yeah.
but like he isn't necessarily fun to watch, but he's really good.
And doesn't care about the accolades.
Anything. Yeah. He's just there to play ball, essentially.
So for my second guard spot, this was kind of tough. I went with Dame. There's a scenario where Portland plays better with new coach. They got a pretty decent, a little top heavy team, but Dame, I mean, point guards' careers don't last as long as some other positions. So this is kind of, I would say, one of the last year or two of his prime. So I could see him like forget all the trade rumors, just going out, balling out. It's not like he hasn't been up there before. Last year he was second team. So yeah, I think he sneaks into the first team.
Nick?
For what, guard?
Yeah.
I gotta go with Chef Curry, man. I think him getting Clay back, and then he got some young guys over there that are playing and balling right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just gonna start cooking on people. I do love Dame though. Dame time is, but
So if I may skip the line here and just do both of my guards,
Okay.
I have Dame and Steph.
Oh,
So
Okay.
because I love Dame's game. I think this is the year he also goes out there and says, you know what, I'm done with the trade rumors. If I'm not going to win a title, then I'm going to make sure that I ball out. Maybe drops 33 a game with horrible other stats, but yeah. And then Steph, he's finally got his team back. So I think Steph has a first team caliber year.
dang. So my second guard was Luka.
See, I put him as a forward, but I guess he is a
Luka
guard.
can go either way. That's what.
yeah, it's confusing with it sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
He's a guard forward.
I mean,
guard
'cause you-
forward, and then I like my two forwards that I would not move my forwards out. So I think you could put Luka either way. Depends if you want to knock out one of the other forwards or knock out one of the guards.
That's true.
Because if you want Curry in, you almost have to move Luka to a forward.
Yep.
I didn't have Curry in. I think Curry would be second team, but yeah. So I had Luka and Dame.
and see, I have Curry and Luca, so
Okay.
so it's just all of us.
We're just everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll just go next again. Then
Yeah.
I'll let the cat out of the bag. I have Luca at one of my forward positions. I mean, we've already kind of said it. And if he's going to win MVP by my vote, then he has to be All NBA first team. And I count him as a forward. So, James, go ahead.
Yeah, one of my two forwards is Durant. I think he's like the steady presence on that Nets team. It's obviously a loaded team, but Kyrie's, who knows? Harden's been so injury prone and hit or miss. And Durant's going to get his buckets. I think he's even more determined after that tough Game 7 loss to the Bucks. So yeah, I think Durant's and like hopefully doesn't get hurt, but that's the only way I think he's not first team.
I agree. Nick?
I have the Greek Freak and Durant as my forwards. I think I love Harden as a guard, but I feel Durant just is gonna. I feel Durant is gonna ball, and there's gonna be other guards that do other things, so Harden doesn't have to do as much. I see Harden on second team, but yeah. So I got Durant and the Greek Freak. I think both of those dudes are just gonna go bananas.
I have my other forward is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Me too.
Which means that I'm leaving Kevin Durant out of my All-NBA first team.
Wow,
And
disgusting.
yeah, it kind of is. But
Like,
but if I'm taking Luka as MVP and I think Steph and Dame are going to ball and just have better overall numbers, then
Man, that's tough. I mean, I have Giannis and Durant. Just like Nick does, but
Durant's one of the dudes like he'd go out there and drop 40 in a quarter if
Good.
you let him.
good.
I mean, he'll probably do that
Klay
against like a
Thompson good, too.
Sacramento or something, but
But yeah, okay. Well, do we want to do playoff seeding now?
yeah, how should we do it? Do you want to start with like the play-in teams?
Yeah, we can do playing teams. That works. East
So
or
how does
West?
it work again? Like the 7 plays the 8, right? And then the 9 plays the 10.
7 plays 10, 8 plays 9.
Okay.
oh, there's 10. I put 9.
Yeah,
Huh?
the 10 spot's tough.
Yeah. 10 spots up. Are we going west or east first?
Nick, your choice.
Let's do East first.
Sounds good. Nick, since
number-
you're so confident, go ahead.
10. Yeah. Nick, who's your 10?
I have Nets first.
No,
Bucks.
Wait.
number 10.
We're going
from
over 10.
10.
We're doing the
Oh.
play-in teams. We're doing play-in teams.
Oh, playing teams. Oh man, hold on. Who was the other one I had? I had at number 10. I had Washington. I think Bradley Beal don't get traded, and I think they end up finding a way to swim into the 10th spot. And then I have number 9 as I think the Hornets. And I only say that because they got murdered by 68 points in preseason the other day. So I've never seen that worst of basketball. I don't think they're going to be that bad, but I just had to put them there after that performance I saw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's tough. My 10 is the Hornets. They're getting a lot of buzz because of LaMelo, and he's fun to watch. But their season rests on Gordon Hayward staying healthy, which isn't that's definitely not a sure thing. And even if it is a sure thing, he's an old Gordon Hayward. So it's like you get what you get. They're a fun team. They're a really fun young team that can run, but I still think they're a year or two away from being an actual lock playoff team, especially in the East. And some of these teams ahead of them, they're just too up and down and one injury away from being out. I'm confident they make the play-in, but I have them as 10. And then my 9 is the Pacers. I don't know. They have a lot of question marks. They're slow. In a fast-paced league, they have a lot of slow plotting guys. Is Miles Turner ever really going to get traded? Is he going to be healthy? Sabonis. It's tough. I like Duarte, and I have Turner as my dark horse defensive player of the year. So sorry, Dylan. I have him in the play-in, so they make the play-in. But
Dylan gonna hate me. I don't even got the pages on my list. So.
Okay. All right. Well, Dylan, if this makes you feel any better, at the 10 spot, I got the Pacers. They added Rick Carlisle, great coach, obviously. Their biggest offseason move was signing Torrey Craig, so I don't know how you really get much better. But if they can stay healthy, they're a fringe play-in team,
Why would be a top 4 team and then Dylan's just
Dylan will never forget this video if that's the case.
I legit, when I was making this list, I was like, I can't put them over the Wizards. And there's something that's just, it's sad to say that, but yeah, I couldn't do it.
My 9 is the Wizards, since we're talking about them. I think Kyle Kuzma just balls out. I'm just kidding. He ain't going to ball. Bradley Beal, I just can't put him down. They got a lot deeper with the Trez and KCP trade for the Lakers, though. I'm not even going to include Kuzma in the title of that. But, yeah, 19 is where I got the Wizards.
Wait,
And
so
then,
Calvin, do you have the Hornets in at all?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
They were the team that didn't make it for me.
Yeah.
Which, hey, Dylan, just remember this if it comes down to it, okay? I said they're better than the Hornets. James had them in there,
I didn't even have it in my list. So.
Yeah, Nick is the one who.
Oh, yeah, Nick, yeah. Remember Nick said that they suck terribly.
I think they need a trade. I think you gotta. You said it best. They're slow, bro. They remind me of the old Memphis Grizzlies, but not as good at defense. So, I don't know. I don't think they know how to. They're not gonna be able to beat the Wizards. I think with Montrez, Spencer Dinwiddie, all those guys.
Yeah, nobody's talking about that Dinwiddie signing, but that's big.
Yeah, that's a little under. I had the Wizards missing out, and part of that is possibly Beal getting traded. If I had to bet, I think Beal stays the whole year, but just that chance makes me put him, I guess, in the 11th spot, just out of the play-in. But
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if they pass the Hornets.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right, who's 8?
8 from me is the New York Knicks. I got the Knicks at 8. You're just too focused on baseball right now.
I'm sorry, bro. It was a key out, bro.
The Kemba trade is big, or signing. I don't remember if they traded or signed him for him, but I think that Julius Randle is going to come back down to earth from last year, and Tom Thibodeau maybe doesn't do as well as he did.
Yeah,
What about you?
I like the Knicks in the higher play-in realm. I have them 7. I have the Bulls 8. To me, like you said, this is a tough job for Billy Donovan, and if he can get them into the playoffs as a lock, then I think he deserves some of your consideration. But the East is pretty good up top, and I just could not slide them into a playoff lock with so many questions. What does DeRozan have left? Does DeRozan fit with these guys? Is Vukovic good enough on a playoff team? We've never really seen that in Orlando.
True.
So, yeah, I have Bulls 8 and then the Knicks right there at 7.
Nick, what about you?
I have the Bulls.
Nice.
I don't feel
Period.
I'm hyped to watch them, but I feel like they're gonna be a more improved Houston Rockets for me. I'm gonna love to watch them, but they're not gonna know how to end those games the right way.
No defense. Either.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I don't know. That offense with just watching the offense in preseason has been amazing. Like Lonzo Ball to Zach LaVine, Caruso to Zach LaVine. I think Nicola over there is going to be dope. I think they're going to struggle going up against some of these Eastern Conference teams that have already been together, like the Knicks, Atlanta, Bucks, and all those.
Yeah. At 7, I got the Celtics.
Oh.
Just because the top of the East is really, really good, and I don't know if Jaylen Brown's going to be healthy for the beginning of the season. I don't remember if he has been cleared or not, but that's where I got the Celtics.
I wanted to put the Celtics there, but it didn't let me. I put Miami. I feel they're older.
Ooh.
I don't. Tyler Hero saying that he needs to be up there with Luka and John Morant. Prove it, bro.
Yeah.
But I think I forgot who said it. I think it was James that said it last week that the Bucks had to have known something about PJ Tucker, like giving it his all and I just seeing PJ in Houston struggling, making threes in defense, and then going to the Bucks and being able to do it, but look like he was totally gassed. I don't know what else he can give you. And Kyle Lowry, you're slow, bro. And nobody talked about it last year, but Jimmy Butler, you didn't show up. So I'm gonna put Miami there.
Man, that's bold, but I say it's bold, but I won't jump ahead. Calvin, who do you have? 7.
I had Boston at 7.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so yeah, I had the Knicks at 7, and then I had the Heat 6. So yeah, I guess I'm not too far off from you, Nick. And part of that, is their age. They're like the Lakers East. AARP retirement.
Calvin's face.
I'm just
That's
disgusted.
without LeBron and Anthony Davis. I don't mean that in terms of talent. I mean that in terms of age. They're just older. And then, I think Jimmy Butler's slightly on the decline. Lowry's slightly on the decline. You didn't get too much, but you paid Duncan Robinson like he was somebody.
Yo, for real.
Hey,
For real, man.
Like, no offense to, good for him. He got his. But remember when they paid Tyler Johnson all that money? This is not that bad, but this is pretty close. It felt like a huge overpay. While Hero, everyone loves Hero. Songs about Hero. He's fine. I think he'll be a little bit better. But, I'd be a little – I have him 6.
Nick, who do you got 6?
I actually have the Knicks.
Okay.
I think they're I don't know what it is. I do love Derrick Rose is amazing. I do love the pickups they got. It's something about the Knicks. I can't put them above certain teams. It's the Knicks we're talking about. Look who came in the building.
Let's go. What's up, Zach?
Hey, the champ is here.
Hell yeah!
Wait a minute.
Hell yeah!
What's up, boys?
What's good, bro? Hey,
Should have a theme
What y'all,
song.
what y'all talking about?
We're talking about
Basketball,
the East.
bowling.
I might know
Bowling.
a little bit about basketball.
You might? Okay.
We're actually talking Astros.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm watching.
I'm watching it. I'm trying to keep my composure while I watch it and do
I
this.
mean,
All right,
baseball
so
sucks, though, so
all
who
right,
really cares?
all right. What y'all talking about? What we doing?
So we did our awards already. MVP, rookie of the
We
year.
can ask him his awards quick. Just run
Yeah.
down the list
Yeah,
for
run
you.
through.
So
MVP Kevin Durant, Defensive Player of the Year Draymond Green,
Coming in.
yeah,
Hot.
so I think-
Rookie of the Year Jalen Green,
Whoa,
let's go.
Coach of the Year, whoever the coach of Atlanta is.
Nate McMillan.
Nate McMillan.
Oh yeah,
Nate
name
McMillan.
Miller.
There we go.
Most Improved Player of the Year Malachi Flynn, guard, Toronto Raptors.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Wow.
What am I missing?
All NBA first team.
Yep.
All NBA first team. I got Embiid, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Dan gave you a hint, bro.
Hey, look at the message. That should be in there.
You fucking crazy. I'm glad you remember that though, Dan. You're a good listener. I need two guards for NBA All First Team. Trey Young and
Okay.
Oh,
I want to go Harden.
Ooh, all right.
coming on with the Zags.
Dylan goes, you missing your fucking hair, dog.
I'm not getting.
Hey, bases loaded. Here we go, baby.
We got Costa. He's been a loyal commentator, big Raptors guy, I guess.
Yeah.
He loved your Malachi pick.
Oh, Malachi can hoop.
Oh.
Malachi can straight up hoop, and he's gonna get the
Got
opportunity
him, baby.
to play.
You know,
Fred
Gary
Van
Trent-
Vliet cannot run point guard on that team.
What you mean?
He's not a true point. He's a scorer.
Miniature Drake can run point. He got it.
Drake
He's a
Van
scorer, bro.
Okay. Well, so is Steph Curry. Anyway.
He can't run point guard either.
Oh my God! Chill.
God, Dylan hates us today. He hates us today.
All right, mute.
Zach. In the East, who do you got? Do you have standings prepared? Let's
I got-
go from 10 to 6.
Oh shit. 10-6. That's tough. I need to go from I need to go the opposite way and get the good teams out of the way first. I got Brooklyn 1. I'm gonna go Atlanta 2.
Atlanta 2?
Atlanta.
What do you mean?
Atlanta's
Oh,
gonna
hey,
son.
hey, it's been fun.
See ya.
Wait.
See ya.
Where do you have the Pacers?
I got the Pacers like 7 or 8 if they get that high.
That's higher than all of us.
It's because I feel like Pacers are right there bunched up with Toronto, right? It's like, will they make it or will they won't?
Ted's like, what the fuck? Hey, is your picks?
That team's not a fluke, bro. That team is name a team in the East that's put together top and bottom better than Atlanta. Nobody.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
That's the
Nobody.
Milwaukee
Nobody.
Bucks.
That's Bucks.
The Indiana Pacers. No, I'm just kidding.
But
Yeah,
it's
okay.
like the Pacers, I don't know if they make the playoffs because what if Chicago and Charlotte decide they want to be good?
I have them missing over. I have Washington over them. So
I had the
I
Pacers.
can't put Washington in front of. I can't put.
all my comments about you, Zach. I love you, big teddy bear ass. What you want from DoorDash?
I'm just offended because I picked Duarte.
I just
as the dark
ate.
horse,
I was about
Kerr
to.
as the
I'm
dark horse.
about to get back on my rant, but you fuckers need to go vegan because they quit charging me $17 for a 10-piece wing because it's crazy.
What were you saying, James?
No, Dylan. I gave Duarte the dark horse sixth man. I gave Miles Turner dark horse defensive player of the year. He seems to forget about that. I have him in the playing game. Congratulations. They can win the playing game, make the playoffs. lose in 5, and then go home and high five each other.
There you go.
If y'all are insinuating that Washington's better than Indy, that's crazy shit. Indy's better than Washington.
I said it. I stand by my comment.
Anybody who thinks that Spencer Dinwiddie can run point guard on an NBA team is crazy as fuck.
You had Atlanta at 2.
You have Atlanta 2.
He played. I'm telling you, fuck with Atlanta.
I mean, we'll get to my Atlanta pick here in a second.
The team that might disappoint everybody is Philly. That if Ben Simmons was playing for sure, Philly would be my 2.
For sure.
For sure.
Okay. Well, let's get back on track here real quick.
All right, where were we? 6?
We were at 6.
So 5.
Did you say you're 6?
Me?
My 6 was Knicks. Wait.
Okay.
8, 7, 6. Yeah, my 6 was Knicks.
Okay, the Heat.
My 6 was the Chicago Bulls.
Oh.
It's because, like we said, the team's gonna be really fun. I think they're gonna do well, and get in the playoffs, and then probably lose first round. But they're gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah.
5.
I don't think they will be fun to watch at all.
I think you bugging right now, Zach.
That
Zach
team
comes
is.
in here.
Who the hell's gonna play defense on that team?
Nobody. That's why they're gonna be fun to watch.
Exactly.
They're gonna score
133 points. Me and Nick on the same fucking book. Right
They're gonna lose by 160. That's not the point. Hey.
No, that's not the point.
Who cares about
you give up all your big men, and you're gonna come in and probably start DeRozan at the 4. Y'all don't know what the hell y'all doing.
It's gonna be fun to watch. Hey.
That's true.
I have the Sixers at 5.
Drop it. Dang it, man.
You got the Sixers at 5.
Sixers at 5.
Since we're talking basketball right now.
We're talking about this is a basketball NBA show, right?
Sorry. Hey.
Sixers at 5. That's okay. I like that.
It seemed a little low at first, but and there's one team that you guys have had lower that I have at 4, which we'll get to. But the Sixers is just all the question marks. I do agree Embiid could play an MVP level season. And if you play MVP level in the East, that's probably good enough for at least 3 or 4. But there's just too many question marks. I don't love the team. I don't love Tobias. Everyone loves Tobias, but I'm like, why are you on 8 teams in like 9 years? It's so good.
Okay.
How you traded to every team with Boban, and he's still more popular than you?
Hey, don't fuck with Boban. I love Boban.
I do too, but
yeah, Boban
don't get max money like Tobias.
No.
Nick, who you got at 5?
Oh God, I put Boston.
Okay.
I was like, I think that y'all are sleeping on Boston. I haven't heard anybody saying it. I think Boston's gonna be good.
I feel the COVID thing right now with them. I want to see how they come back. I know some of the players, like in the sports, they get COVID and they're not the same. I never am a Boston Celtics fan because they don't make damn trades when they need to. And so, aren't they? Wait, hold on. Didn't they sign Evan Fournier?
Who? No, he went to the Knicks.
No, he went to the Knicks. Yeah, okay, yeah. He was there before that. All right.
They signed Schroeder, and I think he's going to be motivated.
Yeah, no, that one's better. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's why I had the Knicks under them. Yeah, because I don't like the Fournier deal. But yeah, I have Boston Celtics there.
Okay. I got the Atlanta Hawks at 5. I think they don't get much better than they did last year, to be honest with you. I just don't. I don't see them at 2. I really don't. Unless Trae Young is playing at MVP caliber level, I don't see them at 2.
You do realize that they made that playoff run without their 2 best wings, right?
I get that. That's fine.
It's not fine. That means they're going to be
fine.
Better. Did you see what Cam Reddish did in the
We're talking about a playoff run. Well, their regular season record has nothing to do with the playoff run they had.
I'm just saying, Cam Reddish. If Atlanta did anything foolish, he was giving Collins' sorry ass all that money.
You don't like John Collins?
Not max money.
He's been balling.
I mean, it was that or let him walk, and they got the money to give.
He got one good dunk in preseason.
Hey, it was a good dunk, bro.
It was a great dunk.
I mean, we talking about preseason. There's some teams that haven't won a preseason game.
So, you know who else was good in preseason? Moochie Norris.
Boston is goofy. They're the Marvin Lewis-led Bengals. They will never win shit, but they'll always make the playoffs.
God.
That's why I said they are 8th, but, you know.
I have Boston 4th. I think Tatum Tatum was like a third or fourth dark horse MVP for me. He's just getting better and better. And if he plays at an MVP-ish level, this team could be good enough to be a top 4 seed.
I think even in minimal minutes, Al Horford is going to make that defense so much better.
37-year-old Al Horford.
It doesn't matter.
Isn't he
He's
hurt already?
37 in the league on a max deal.
He got
for a
COVID.
reason.
Yeah, he got COVID. The whole team got COVID, it seems like.
Right, and as Calvin mentioned earlier, who knows when Jaylen Brown will come back, but
200%, yeah.
Right. So
I mean, even if he does come back, when is he going to be 100%?
Right. But it's the same core they've had for a while, and I think continuity can help in the regular season. I don't think they'll do much in the playoffs because, as I have it, they'd play the Sixers round 1, and I think the Sixers would probably win that series. But I think Tatum takes a leap in the regular season, and I don't think the 4 seed's out of question. Might be their ceiling. I'd be surprised if they get any higher.
I don't think it's out of the question by any means. I think that's pretty good for them, especially if Tatum's balling and you have him as a dark horse MVP candidate. That sounds about right. Yeah.
And then Marvin Lewis had some 12-4 teams.
That's true. That's true.
Oh man.
Oh, Dylan, that's a dog shit take.
That is
don't make me time you out.
And I love Michael Redd, but
Zach, talk to this fool.
You have the best player in the world with Durant, 1A, 1B. And then you have Drew Holiday, who made Booker look ridiculous. He made Paul look bad, too, with his defense. Offense, don't talk about that. Chris Middleton's an assassin. He finally proved that he can be a second-best player on a title team. So
here's what I'll say about – I don't want to talk about the Bucks too much right now, but that entire playoff finals, I guess the finals and the Eastern Conference Finals as well. Why am I fucking blanking on his fucking bucktooth name? What's his name? No. The fucking you were just talking about him. Why am I blanking on his name? Middleton. Chris Middleton proved that he could be the guy down the stretch if Giannis can't fucking drive to the rim and dunk on everybody. Like he proved that he could step up and make big shots.
I still think that somebody else needs to be capable of running that offense, not named Middleton, in a half-court set. Like
I think
a ball
Drew
handler.
Holiday is going to be better this year than he was last year.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't critique Holiday because he's just not a point guard to me either. He's a good ass 2 guard.
Yeah.
He every year we say, "Oh, Holiday will run the point better," and he doesn't. So I stopped saying that stupid shit. The only issue with Middleton is when they beat the Suns, when he would play high pick and roll, come off the screen and shoot the mid range, they couldn't stop that. The only problem with it is DeAndre Ayton plays the laziest defense in the world. That's true. What happens if a big man steps up on him? I just want one guard to take the ball to the hole.
You know, Kmart wasn't as bad as people remember.
I'd rather go there than Walmart at this
Remember
point.
Kmart used to have that little deli with the hot dogs and you get a pretzel?
Yeah.
I love Kmart.
They got Starbucks in there now.
Kmart, we don't even have Kmart.
They got Target. Never mind. My bad.
Yeah, we got Targets and Walmart.
At Walmart.
I love Middleton. He's always been one of my favorite players. But yeah, we'll get to the Bucks in a little bit. So who do you guys have at 4?
Nick, go ahead.
I have the Philadelphia 76ers.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I mirror that because I have the Philadelphia 76ers at 4 as well.
Yeah,
Same thing. I don't know if they're going to be good enough to be any higher, but if Embiid is my dark horse sleeper like I have for MVP, then he has to play at that level, and that's where I got him.
Yeah,
I think that them picking up Drummond is going to help him.
Oh, 100%.
Because he can actually play a little bit of power forward now.
No, he's going to be able to fight everybody in the locker room before he goes out to the game, and then he'll actually play smart.
It'll remind me of like when Portland stopped making LaMarcus Aldridge be a center. And it's like, all right, go be a 4. And he just went crazy. I think he lit the Rockets up for like 40 and 20 in the playoff series, like 3 games in a row. I was like, shit, how you stop that dude?
Yeah.
Philly's wild though. Like, what do you think they're like as a seed? Their ceiling, you could argue their ceiling's like a 3, and their floor is like a 8.
I think their ceiling is like 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
You don't know what Philly's gonna do.
1?
They could be 1.
Okay.
Wait, what?
if Ben Simmons was on that team and they were playing the way they should, that team could be a number 1 seed.
Wait, so you say there's a world where it could be Philly, Atlanta, and then the Nets, and then the Bucks?
If you ask me, well, I guess you don't want to talk about the Bucks, but I think the Bucks might sneak into that 1 spot, and Atlanta gets 2, Brooklyn gets 3,
Philly gets 4.
Philly gets 4. Or
okay, there we go.
Philly's
and then
a
we get to the
solid
play, and we
4-5.
get to the playoffs, and Brooklyn beats the shit out of everybody.
They're not at home. I don't think they're gonna have a
So many
guy.
questions. All right, so who we got 3 then? Zach has 3. Who do you guys have 3?
I got the Miami Heat.
Disgusting.
Nah, I love it.
Nick had him 7.
Disgusting.
I had
I
him 6.
love the Miami
I'm
Heat.
sure he has the Lakers retirement home high also. So I mean, that makes sense.
I got the Lakers 7th in the West.
Are you
that's-
shitting me?
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was like, wow.
I'm kidding. No. I got the Heat. I got the Heat at 3. I don't know. I love that team as a whole. PJ Tucker. Hopefully he plays the same way he was in the playoffs. But hey, listen. Zach's mad as fuck because PJ Tucker fucked you all over. Anyways,
No, I'm not mad. I was happy to see PJ. I was even more happy to see PJ get a ring and not James Harden.
Yeah, you did say that.
That's true. I mean that makes
My
sense.
only
because-
issue with Miami being so high is I think they know there's gonna be a time when they need to turn it on, and it won't be until after the All-Star break.
I understand that. I do, but I just think Jimmy comes out and tries to shit on the league, and hopefully Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, the guy who got paid for nothing,
But that's my point.
take
Is
the
I
next
think
step.
Kyle Lowry will know how to use those white boys, so everybody else won't have to work so hard, and it'll be easy basketball. But sometime after the playoff game, it's like, okay, let's turn it up. Let's play defense. Let's get nasty, and they'll carry that to the playoffs. I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs.
Hell no.
No, they're built for the playoffs, which is why I had them 6. Because I can see them resting guys. Lowry will be at the beach a few games. So I really don't think they're a regular season team, and that's where my 3rd pick, the Hawks, come in because they're the opposite. They're super young, they're deep, a lot of shooters, fast-paced team. Trae Young's only getting better. They get DeAndre Hunter back. They had so many guys step up in those playoff series, which really helps young players in terms of experience. Cam Reddish was one. He scared me in that Bucks series a few games. He was balling out. So it'd be interesting to see how well he does. So I like the Hawks in that 3rd spot.
I just think that the Hawks are the deepest team in the East, probably in the whole NBA. You think about it, they got Herter on that team. Every other team would want Herter because he's a good combo guard, and they don't have room for him because they got Bogdanovich and they got DeAndre. So what do you do with Herter?
6 man.
But then what do you do with Gallo? What do you do with Gallinari?
7th man.
Trade him.
But what do you? I mean, to me, Cam should be the starting power forward on that team. That's why I didn't want Collins.
Yeah. They do have a lot of guys that could be traded just because I have too many guys, which
They
is
just
a
got
big
too many
problem.
Contending teams are going to trade first-round picks late in the season just because they want to have a guy like any of the people that we just named that aren't starting for the Hawks. So
Yeah.
Not to mention, you got Capella on that team, the dude who leaves my sorry-ass Rockets team and goes to Atlanta and leads the league in rebounds.
how do you do for the Rockets?
He did good.
He only got traded because of Harden, I felt.
No, he got traded because of Westbrook's sorry ass.
Yep. Just taking his rebounds.
Yeah, let me trade Capella because he was Westbrook's way, and then Westbrook does nothing the rest of this season, and then we trade him too.
Westbrook does stuff, all right? He shoots terribly. He turns the ball over, and Calvin thinks he's amazing. I got your back, Calvin. Don't worry, bro.
So we all
The
got
most overrated star in my lifetime. Straight up.
But he gets triple doubles, bro.
I don't give a shit.
If
When
you
you
add-
have the ball 99% of the time, you get numbers.
Rare fact here: if you add his turnovers, quadruple double.
You sure, right?
we all
Anyways,
our 3rd seed.
All right. Well, I'm gonna speed rush my East because I gotta head out. Nets, Bucks, Hawks. 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Same.
I got Nets, Bucks, yeah, and then Miami. But
And then since
Go for it.
since I'm gonna head out right now, I'm gonna give y'all my West, so then y'all can make fun of me and I can listen.
okay.
And so y'all got it. I know y'all gonna be on here, so I'm gonna go. I guess I'll start with 10th. Oh my gosh, I hate saying this. Spurs, disgusting.
Ugh.
I know. And then Clippers 9. Oh gosh, it's disgusting. Trailblazers 8. Grizzlies 7. Lakers 6. Mavs 5. Warriors 4. Nuggets 3rd. Suns 2nd. Jazz 1st.
Oh. Walk off.
Let's go.
That's
Yes, I put
actually
Lakers there.
actually a pretty good prediction. And
It all makes sense except for the fucking Lakers being 6th.
I know they should probably be lower on my list, but
They had the Lakers 6.
I'm out, boys. Jazz, Suns. They're built for the Lakers. Enjoy the retirement home.
Man.
Hey, Zach, you want to look at the screen real quick? Look at what Dan said.
nah, chill out. I'm good. Even though he did make that comments, kind of hinting that he would come back one day. I don't want him.
You don't want him? Ever? What if he's like skinny again?
What if he
It don't matter.
doesn't
Like
go to strip clubs anymore?
it still doesn't matter. It's like don't hinder Jalen Green and Kevin Porter's growth. You know what I mean?
But what if like 3 years later, like Porter and Green are balling out, like almost all-star level, and then Harden's up for contract, like 35, still playing all-star level. You wouldn't want him back to try to
I
run
don't.
real quick?
I don't.
Oh,
It's
that's
abundantly obvious, bro. James Harden
yeah.
cannot play off of the basketball. He needs the basketball. So if I tell you you're gonna come to my team at 35 and be a 6-man, what the hell? You can't do that. He's not Manu.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
He is literally Manu.
No, he is not.
He is quite literally the re-essence of Manu.
We'll see what
Nice.
that new foul call does for Harden this year. But
That's true.
Oh yeah,
Talking
Trae Young too.
the Nets Bucks 1-2 is actually a little tough for me. I know Zach said the Bucks could be the 1 seed, and I have to agree just because of all these Nets question marks, where the Bucks will just go out, and the Bucks have some sneaky depth. Jordan Wara is going to be a breakout potential guy. Dante DiVincenzo is coming back, and the Bucks could return to 2 years ago when they're winning 60 games. Now that they have the title off their back, so I wouldn't be shocked if the Bucks pick the 1 seed, but the Nets are so deep now.
I still think that the Bucks have the advantage, and the reason I say the Bucks can do it is because to some extent you have to think that the Nets are going to have to play with lineups. Like, let's see who could play with who and do what, and worst case scenario, rely on talent. Opposed to the Bucks, no, we know what took us to the chip. You know what I mean? So let's run with that.
Cohesiveness over talent, I think.
Yeah,
applies in this scenario.
And plus, I'm a big Bobby Portis fan, so I'm thinking he's gonna ball out this year.
I love Bobby.
They got him back for nothing,
bro.
Yeah.
Let me just say, because I was at Game 6 of the finals last year.
Oh, sick.
That environment when Bobby would make a bucket was insane. I had everybody and their mom around me yelling, "Bobby, as loud as they could. Oh my god, I'm not a Bucks fan, right? I like the Bucks, but dude, I was cheering for Bobby. I was screaming with him.
I was fortunate enough to go to Game 3, and that was same thing. When Bobby did anything, it was Bobby, and that having a guy like that's so important. You always need that role player in the playoffs who can step up and get the crowd going. And for a while, it was looking like PJ, and he did against Durant and whatever. But Bobby consistently. And Bobby didn't even play against the Nets. That's what was awesome. He didn't.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't play that whole series. Came back and got his. So I like the.
It's because he was having a hard time guarding the pick and roll. My only question for the Bucks is this: do you leave McConnington in the starting lineup, or do you put DiVincenzo back in the starting lineup?
I think you put. I think you leave Connington in.
I think that too, but I have a stupid feeling they're going to put Dante DiVincenzo back in the starting lineup.
Dante would be a good bench player. I think just because he has like the first round pedigree and he's scrappy, they'll probably start the season with him. Pat is nice to have coming off the bench, but I used to not be a big Pat fan. He used to usually not show up in the playoffs, but he really won me over this last playoff run, taking hits, hitting threes, scrappy defense. I would like him in the starting lineup, and like I said, I really like Jordan Nwora, so I don't think he's good enough to start yet, but that bench is getting better with Nwora, Portis, and one of Dante or Pat.
It's getting deeper for sure. The only question is Dante's coming back from, wasn't it a torn ACL?
Broke his foot.
Broke his foot. Okay, either way, that's still like a
Right.
major injury where you're off your feet, not playing ball for a long period of time. I don't think they try to rush him back and insert him into the starting lineup. And if Connington's balling out at the beginning of the season, then I think you keep him there and let.
My only issue is if they don't bring DiVincenzo back to the start lineup and they have him come off the bench and they're going to drag that process along, because I'm 1,000% sure they went and got Grayson Allen. Sorry ass.
Well, yeah, I read somewhere that he could be a dark horse starter, and I was like, no, I like him off the bench a lot, but I did not like him starting.
That's the dude that needs to play on the second unit when the offense is strictly being ran through Giannis, because he's the kick-out player that can help Giannis.
That's true.
Here, shoot that.
And you put in Thanasti for one possession at the end of halves to get a hard foul or scrappy defense. I'm excited. I'm excited for this Bucks team because, like I said, it feels like there's no pressure on them to do anything.
Oh yeah, all the pressure in the East is on Brooklyn now. It's not even close. Like they have to prove it.
All right, ready for the West?
I'm ready. Go ahead. Who do you got at 10?
10 was a real show. It was when he said Spurs, I was like, ew. But then I'm like, well, the 10 it really drops off from 9 to 10. I put the Pelicans and I like threw up a little bit when I did it. But I was like, when you have Zion and Brandon Ingram, I feel like compared to what's the rest of the West, I was like, that's probably good enough to get the 10.
Yeah, they lost Zoe and they lost Steven Adams. I mean, they traded for Jonas Valanciunas, but I don't know. Steven Adams seems like a better center to me, at least fit-wise for that team. But I have the – I'm going to get hate for this and I already know it. I got the Timberwolves at 10.
Ooh.
I have the same freaking team there, bro.
You have the same team at 10?
I actually have them at 9, but I think the Timberwolves are being slept on.
I think they make – dude, I don't know. I love Anthony Edwards. I love Karl Anthony Towns. I love D'Angelo Russell.
It's not that. I think that you just had a change in GM. So that team, at some point, they had to have had a conversation and say, okay, we have to do something this year or we got to blow this shit up. Like, we have to get rid of some of y'all if we can't do it. Because there's no reason a team with 2 number 1 overall picks on it should be that bad.
That's true. That's true.
But in the same right, it's like, should the Pelicans be that bad when you got 2 first round, 2 like top 5 picks on it?
That might be a good rate.
Unless Brandon Ingram's taking another step forward to beat Kevin Durant, then I don't know if it's going to happen.
But he don't need to try to beat Kevin Durant. You can't beat Durant. Durant's like the best scorer I ever seen in my life.
Pure scorer by far.
But if he took the approach and say, I'm going to go try to be like Tatum, I can do what Tatum does.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about what Tatum does. Let me do that shit. You know what I mean?
So, Tema, do you think Tatum's better than Brandon Ingram?
Every day of the week.
Yeah.
Every day of the week. I'm 1,000% sure if you ask for half the game, Ingram has no clue where he's at. Like, he has no clue what his role is at that any given time.
Okay.
If he's not posting it up in the mid-range, he has no clue what he's supposed to be doing. Nothing.
What's tough about this 10 seed is, though, like, who has the most pressure? It's really the Pelicans who may move if they keep losing all their stars. Then you have Minnesota, who never makes the playoffs with Cat, only that 1 year. But then you also have the Kings, who have the longest, who if they don't make the playoffs this year, is the longest drought. So I almost wanted to put them in just like to end that, but you look at their roster and it's like, ugh.
They don't got the talent.
Yeah,
I think the most pressure is on the Pelicans
100%.
because there's really not any like expectation of Big Cat anymore. If we're honest, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, everybody's kind of gave up on him. He may not be a true number 1. I never was really sold on Edwards.
He looked
as
good.
far as being like a superstar, but everybody still thinks Zion can carry a team. Zion can carry a team. Well, let's see. And if he don't, and there's already rumblings about him wanting to leave, then if y'all suck again, then he's gonna ask to get shipped out. You know.
Chris French is a good coach. When they got him, Anthony Edwards immediately started playing better. I don't know why I'm saying this. I'm like validating your guys' pick more than my own. I'm liking the Timberwolves. I'm liking the Timberwolves pick, but I'll stick with the Pelicans just because I love Zion and it'd be cool to see him in the playing game.
My only issue with the Timberwolves is they have no vet leadership on that team.
They have Rubio now.
Beverly.
Oh, yeah, like I said, they have no vet leadership on that team. How can Anthony Edwards go on TV last year, blast his team for being terrible at defense, and on the metrics it says he's the worst defender in the league? It's like, you don't do that, bro.
He doesn't know who A-Rod is.
Huh?
He doesn't know who Alex Rodriguez is either, so that was tough. But for 9, I have the Grizzlies. I just kind of think they stayed lateral. The moves they made were it's like we already mentioned that trade. Valanciunas for Adams is such a weird swap.
Yeah,
Valanciunas did a lot for the Grizzlies on offense, where I don't think Adams can't do as much as he did in the low post. So I
think the rationale behind that trade was this: is if you really look at the Grizzlies, they have big men on that team that are super athletic, and Valanciunas just parks his big ass in front of that rim. So he gets in the way of somebody like a Clark and a Jaren Jackson, and then that dude from Michigan State that they bought from, I think, Chicago.
Bane?
No, not Bane. Bane's a 2-guard. They have like a center. I forget his name. But he got a lot of minutes, and he's a good post player. And they just want to get Valanciunas' big ass out of the way and tell Steven Adams, okay, just go rebound and guard the best big man on that team.
Absolutely.
And stay out of foul trouble, because that was Valanciunas' problem.
Yeah, that's true. I got the Grizzlies at 9 too. Because like you said, it's kind of a lateral move. They didn't necessarily do anything to change that roster, really. So, I mean, it just makes the most sense for them to stay parked, unless John Moran is somehow now a 25, 10, and 5 guy on a nightly basis. Then they can move up in the ranks. But unless they get more help, I don't know if I really see.
I'm gonna co-sign with Nick. I got the Spurs at number 9.
Ooh, Spurs at 9.
Okay. And I'm gonna piss y'all even more. I think that Portland is 8.
Okay.
Wait. What do you like about the Spurs? I know they got the Olympic guy. They got Murray.
It's just that it's a system. It's a true system that works. Everybody knows their role, what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? And I always have confidence in it. It's like a football team to me. Is if you do your job, we'll do good.
That and it's
do what?
It's hard to see a basketball team that's coached by Pop that doesn't do good. In my head, I don't know.
The thing that makes me the most nervous about the Spurs is they lost Patty Mills.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. They lost Pills. They lost DeRozan. You got McDermott.
No, they didn't lose DeRozan. They got rid of DeRozan.
Yeah, that's true. Aldridge midseason. You drafted a 15-year-old kid. It's like that move made me think they're rebuilding, which is why I didn't put them in the playoffs. But
very well could. I still think that they sneak in.
I just feel like if you think about all those teams at the bottom of the West, who's got a more versatile backcourt than the Spurs? Because DeJounte Murray, 2-way player. Not Elfrid Payton. What's the dude from came from University of Miami? He used to have that dumbass haircut.
Oh,
Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker, yep.
2-way player.
People call him the next D
Wade. 2-way player. So they can switch everything.
So who do you have 8th, Calvin?
I have the Portland Trailblazers as well, actually.
Oh.
I got the Grizzlies at 7.
Well, the Trailblazers lost a lot of depth. I mean, they lost Melo, they lost Ariza. I don't know.
I'm gonna be even more honest with you, bro. I'm only giving them the A spot purely out of respect to Dame Lillard. Other than that, I think that team sucks. I hate that team. There's nothing good about it. You ever play NBA 2K with a fantasy draft, and then you look at all the other teams' rosters, and you're like, ooh, who was drafting for that team? They suck. That's what that roster looks like to me.
Man, I want to go that far. I have the Clippers at 8, and that's just because it's Paul George and whoever else. I couldn't put them ahead of the Blazers.
You could.
I couldn't.
I
put the
have to.
Blazers ahead of the
And
Blazers.
another thing about the Blazers, bro, is like, is Chauncey the right coach for that team?
That's true. I didn't think Terry Stotts was a bad coach. I thought he was
I thought he was a good. I think that was the dumbest thing they could have did.
Yeah, Terry.
that
was
was
the
a panic move by the GM. I think the problem is the GM.
Well, that was Dame. I'm pretty sure Dame came out and said he wanted Terry gone.
Oh, and he said he liked Kidd, and he wanted Kidd or Billups. I put the Blazers 6, just jumping a little bit ahead because we're talking the Blazers, and that's just because of Dame, and that's why I had him my first team NBA. I think Dame could have a monster season, and if he does, if they stay healthy, if Nurkic can stay healthy for the first time in his career, I think that alone puts them to 6. And the Clippers, I don't know.
I think that
go ahead, Zach.
losing Melo is going to hurt that team.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not saying that Melo was 6th man of the year candidate, but when they were down, he was not afraid to go in there and shoot the ball 10 times, even if he missed it 9.
Now.
And that's the problem with that team is sometimes they get stale and the ball's not going up and everybody's looking around. And then Dame Lillard comes in there and he's shooting 35 footers and then people are looking at him stupid.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you just said about the Blazers, to be honest. Robert Covington is a good fill-in, but the problem is I don't think Robert Covington is 3 Robert Covingtons. They need more than just one guy that can kind of light it up. That's not Dame, you know.
You're foolish if they have any kind of faith in Derrick Jones, Nasir Little, any of those guys.
Good.
Who?
Norman Powell.
Norman Powell.
He's a baller. He's a baller.
He can hoop. But also he and CJ McCollum are too similar. They're the same player.
Yeah.
Trade McCollum.
This wasn't even really a pro Blazers being putting in the 6. It was more, I don't think the Clippers are better. And then this might be controversial. I have the Warriors at 7, and that's just because Klay Thompson might not come back till January. And then it's the same team as last year, adding 2 promising rookies, but raw rookies who aren't going to contribute for at least a few more years. So, like Curry.
Well, my biggest issue is, did you see that thing on? I think it was on Yahoo yesterday that said they're considering just sending Wiseman to the G League.
What?
Yeah, like let him go play in the G League for a year. I was like,
why?
I don't know.
He was doing fine.
He's injury prone. He needs to get good run with that team because they're gonna need him. It's a lot of it because they brought in Bielitsa, who's a shooter. He'll stretch the floor. They didn't find a whole lot of time for Looney last year as it was, and then they brought Jordan Bell back. So they have bigs that can play, but you don't have a rim protector and a lob finisher.
Yeah,
and that's what Wiseman is.
And they didn't really make any moves. They were the 7 or the 8 seed last year. But yeah, come January, if Klay comes back and he looks good again, they're going to be the team no one wants to play, especially at the top of the West if they're a lower seed.
I know y'all gonna look at me stupid for saying this, but the reason I'm so high on that team is because they brought Iguodala back.
You like the Iggy signing, huh?
I do like the Iggy signing.
Maybe 5 years ago.
I get what you're saying, bro, but I'm not asking you to be that Iggy. I'm asking you to help keep the team in line. You know what I mean? A lot how Udonis Haslem does for Miami. It's like you can go, if I need to throw you on the court for 2 or 3 minutes at a time to correct this, I can do that.
A locker room guy.
Yeah, 100%. And Iggy is that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you brought guys in there who can just use up fouls. Otto Porter, Juan Toscano Anderson. It's like, dude, just go play.
And Otto Porter ain't afraid to hoop either.
That's what I'm saying. He just sucks and he don't know it.
I like that. I think it's the nicer way of saying he's not afraid to get fouls. But yeah,
that's true. I got the Clippers at 7. I'm with you guys because Kawhi's not coming back most likely this year. If it does, it'll be the playoff time. Pat, not losing Pat. That's not what I was gonna say.
No, Pat, that helped them. But I think the reason that I have them above Portland and the San Antonio, I don't even know if I would put them at. Put the Grizzlies at 7. I might put the Clippers there, but I think that Bledsoe helps that team.
Yeah. That and Reggie Jackson coming back, seeing if he can do the same thing he was doing in the playoffs.
Well, that's my rationale. Is like they're going to see who's on fire, Reggie or Bledsoe, whoever is. That's who's getting the play today.
That makes sense.
And then not only that is I think that Terrence Maxey earned the right to be a rotation player, and he could straight up be the 6th man on that team. I mean, you don't score 39 points in a playoff game by accident.
And Ty Lue's a great coach. I think he proved
Yeah.
that last year.
The problem with that team is they are just so small. If you've got any kind of faith in Batum, like this is not 2010 Batum.
This ain't Portland Batum.
Yeah, this ain't Portland Batum.
Hopefully it's not Charlotte Batum. He was a little better than Charlotte Batum.
Yeah, he's better than Charlotte Batum, but
Maybe Team France Batum.
Zach, who you got at 6?
And none of them are great.
I think I'm gonna switch the Clippers at 7 and put the Grizzlies at 6.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
High ranking for the Grizzlies.
I don't think it's high. You got to think about it, bro. Every year, okay, 2 years ago they played Portland in a playing game. They pushed it to the limit. It went overtime. Last year they got there. They played Utah. Utah was a really good team. They beat the shit out of them, but they gave Utah a challenge.
Game 1, yeah.
So now I'm expecting them to get back there and be a little bit better.
Okay. I like that pick.
I already said mine. Blazers were at 6.
You got the Blazers at 6. Okay. I got the Jazz at 6.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
They're a great regular season team. I don't know. I just don't have as much faith in them as I do the next 5 teams. I'm gonna say.
I just don't think you want to know where I have the Jazz. Then.
I mean, fucking Nick said he had them at 1. So at this point, hey, I don't think I'm gonna act too crazy on anything else. But
the Jazz are built for. They're kind of similar to the Hawks in a way. They're built for the regular season. They're fairly deep. Conley's health is a big question mark.
Yep.
But Bogdanovich is built for the. They have all guys built for the regular season. I think Bogdanovich, Gobert can light it up in the regular season. That's not a bad comp either.
That's a great comp.
Yeah.
100%.
I do think that the Jazz picked up some free agents that are going to help them, though.
Pascal from the Warriors is going to help them.
Whiteside's going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy Gay's going to help them.
Rudy Gay old as hell.
But you can almost start Rudy Gay instead of Royce O'Neal.
You could, and then I suppose if you want to play for the playoffs and be those guys, then I mean you don't play Rudy or you don't start Rudy until the playoffs.
Yeah, I know this has been said, but the Jazz need to do what the Bucks did last year in the regular season and try things out, like a small ball lineup. They need to experiment more because getting the 1 seed won't mean anything if you just do exactly what you did last year.
And that's why I got them at 6.
Yeah.
Well, see, the problem with the Jazz
fair.
is that the media hypes that team of being so good defensively, but as a basketball fan, you could look at every other team and they're like, I ain't scared of the Jazz. Like,
No,
that's
not at
actually
all.
who I want to play.
Yeah,
I want Rudy Gobert's big dumb ass.
I want to play the Jazz.
Exactly.
The only player I got to worry about is Don, the Spider. That's it.
No, don't get me wrong. Ingles can hoop. Bogdanovich can
Ingles
hoop.
looks like a 7th grade math teacher.
He can hoop. Bro, we played them in the playoffs like 3 years in a row. Ingles can hoop.
He can
Jordan
hoop.
Clarkson can hoop. Like, that team is not bad.
Jordan
I have
Clarkson,
them-
I like I said earlier, Jordan Clarkson is my 6th man of the year, and he is a baller, man. That kid knows how to put the ball in the basket. But I'm just not afraid of them when it comes to the playoffs.
No, me neither.
Right.
I always wanted to play them.
That's another thing entirely, but I think like Gobert is better in the play. I think Mitchell's a really interesting dark horse. Maybe not MVP, but maybe 2nd or 1st team NBA, where he could really take a leap, and who knows how much weight's helping him. I like this Jazz team as a unit, but it was really funny being in Utah for last season. All these articles like this is like the 04 Pistons. We're like the 2012 Spurs.
Stop it.
It's like
Stop it.
won. It's like the Colts AFC runner-up banner. Like you can keep putting like first-round victors or whatever banners.
The
up.
problem with the Jazz is they're being put together like this is still the year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they're really trying to find positioned players, a point guard, a 2 guard, a small forward, and the NBA you don't win that way anymore.
Hey, Bucks and 6. That's my
boy.
Yeah.
Shout out Chris. Game 6, baby. We was there. Anyways,
but the back to the Jazz point, like last year they drafted Azubuike, who I liked out of Kansas, but why are you drafting a traditional center when you have Rudy Gobert and you need a wing?
Yeah.
And you just max Rudy out.
Yeah, that was the dumbest pick. And then this year they got Jared Butler from Baylor, which was a good pick. But it's you're right. It's like they have these spots to fill on a roster, and they're like, all right, we need a small forward now. Let's get another guy from Baylor. Let's get Royce O'Neal, and it's just kind of weird how they're doing it. Maybe the new owner helps them. I have the Jazz higher than.
So at
Cowboys.
this point, do you think that Quinn Snyder might be the problem?
Yeah.
In the playoffs, this could be like Budenholzer last year. Budenholzer was a game away from probably getting fired.
100%.
And I think if the Jazz lose in round 1 or round 2 this year, I don't see how Quinn survives that.
No
Oh,
shot.
they're losing in round 1 or 2.
Yeah, they are, but that's the thing is that like Quinn Snyder's the way he's coaching that team or he's making them play rather. I don't know if that's built for the. It's not built for the playoffs. We've seen that.
Rudy got all the flack for that playoff loss, but if you're Quinn Snyder, why didn't you adjust? Like they were tearing up your lineup. Why? I know they don't really have a small ball 5, but it clearly wasn't working in game 5. So game 6, they're like, let's just try this again. Same
That's
thing.
why I feel like Pascal's such a good pickup for that team because he's a small dude, but he's thick and he can play the 5 and he can just go get a bucket.
Yeah, that's true.
He could be that small ball 5. I have the Jazz higher. I had the Nuggets at 5, and a lot of that Jamal Murray being out. I think they're a better team with a healthy Murray, but Michael Porter could take a leap, but he has health concerns. But they have Jokic, so they're not falling lower than 5.
I have them at number 2.
Okay, real quick. I have them at 5 as well. Because of Jamal Murray being out for most of the season.
I'm almost curious to see where y'all have my 5, which I have Dallas at 5.
I have them 4.
I have them 4. No. I have them 3.
Oh. I have Dallas 4, Nuggets 5, and that'd be a fun series.
I got Golden State 4, and I got Dallas at 3.
Then I have a Jazz 3, since these are all teams that we've been talking about.
But
yeah, I got Jazz, Mavericks, Nuggets.
So real quick, here's my logic behind it, Zach, because you weren't here for our picks for the award ceremonies. I have Luka winning MVP, and if he's going to do it, they're gonna be a 3 seed at least. Like they're not gonna give the MVP to somebody who balls out and gets 30 points a game,
Westbrook,
but doesn't somehow end up at the top of their conference. So
they did it to Westbrook.
What you mean? Yeah, Westbrook was like what? He had like the 5th or 4th seed.
No, not the year that it should have went to Harden when we beat them. We spanked their ass in the first round one year when he got the MVP, and they were like the 7th seed because we were the 2nd. I want to say that was like 2016.
Oh, is that the team? Is that the year he broke Oscar Robinson's record for?
Yeah, it was the first year he averaged a triple double where he had.
That's the kind of thing that writes narratives in the NBA, and you like that's a bullshit MVP, if I may.
It's not because a triple double is a triple double, but James Harden carried a team to the number 2 seed behind the dynasty. Behind Golden State was the only team that could beat us, and he didn't get it. I mean, it's just like this year. It's like. We can all say that Joker deserved it because he really did, but we all know if Embiid would have played the whole season, he would have been MVP.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, like if Beal scores 40 points, I think that's the next dumb stat one that could win MVP. Like if someone drops 40 a game somehow.
Averages 35 or something like that, you think?
I think that's the only way. But yeah, I like the Jazz 3, Mavericks 4. The Jazz are built for the regular season, but at the same time, I think they're going to tinker more this year and try to figure things out for the playoffs. The Mavericks are weird, and it's like Luka, you have one of the best players in the league, but then I think Porzingis is going to play better.
I do.
He's almost become underrated now.
Yep.
But then after him, it really is a weird drop off. They have some nice guys, like Jalen Brunson is nice, but it's just tough to put them as a real contender yet, just because the lack.
The reason that I have faith in Dallas, and I hate saying those words, is because a lot of the times their problems came from the fact that they would have a sorry dude in the corner like Finney Smith who just could not shoot the 3.
Yeah.
So it's there for you every time. So what do we do to alleviate that? Okay, we go get Reggie Bullock. He's going to hit that 3. Yeah. You go get Sterling Brown. He's going to hit that 3. So they got more 3-and-D players that help Luka.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that little bit of help is basically I'm more conflicted on Phoenix than I am Dallas because I know what Dallas is going to do.
Harden is not that guy that can come out of nowhere and win MVP because he plays underneath Kevin Durant. That'll not happen.
That's what hurts the Nets. Any of the Nets winning MVP is they kind of take the thunder away from each other.
That's why they won't win MVP.
That's why I think Durant can, because that's the one dude in the world that can tell Harden, "You're not better than me. Give me that ball."
You think Harden's going to sit there and take that?
You don't have a choice when Kevin Durant says, "Give me that ball."
Well, Harden gave up the ball in the game 7. He did not
Yeah,
want
he was hurt. He did not want to play that game.
Yeah, he was like, "Here you go, Durant."
His mind was at the strip club already. He wasn't there.
He was like, "Man, I wonder what strip clubs are open in Brooklyn."
He's like, I'm gonna throw this to KD real quick, and I'm gonna go to Sensations afterwards. And we're
Yeah.
gonna be good. Yeah.
Speaking of the Suns, let's do it. Who do you have 1 and 2 in the West?
Zach, what did you give us your 3, Zach?
My 3 is gonna be Denver.
Okay.
I'm gonna move Denver at 3, put Utah 2, and I'm gonna ride with the Lakers at 1.
You don't have the Suns making the playoffs?
I did forget the Suns, didn't I?
You did.
All right, fuck you, Portland. You're out of there.
I was about to say, we about to make a breaking. I'm putting this on TikTok. It's gonna get thousands of views. It's gonna be
But
great.
I'm not sold on Phoenix at all.
Okay, so where do you got them then?
Probably like 5, probably right ahead of Dallas.
Okay.
Because once again, it's a system. You're playing with Chris Paul. You know your role, what you're supposed to do. But also by that logic, and only because Chris Paul played here for 2 years, and I know this is going to happen. If I know what you're going to do because you know what you're supposed to do, then I know how to stop it.
Man,
So I don't look for big years from people like Cam Johnson.
Sure. I think he does take a big step this year, though.
The fact that they don't want to pay DeAndre Ayton, that has to factor into it.
I think that might help Aiden.
I do too.
I think I might just piss them off. I'll just go. I have Suns 1, Lakers 2, and that's no knock on the Lakers. That's more the Suns are kind of like the Bucks because once again they make the finals and everyone writes them off the next year like, oh, they were a fluke.
I think that the reason they don't want to pay Ayton, James, is because they see something in Ayton, like you said, Milwaukee sees about PJ. Is Ayton did good. He had good numbers, but only in comparison to what he did previously. There was times where his defense was so shitty, fundamentally wrong, that if he played that defense against Embiid averages 50 in the finals.
Well, counterpoint, he was the only one that Giannis didn't completely obliterate in the end of the finals. Like the numbers against Aiden were percentage-wise a lot lower than when anyone else I mean, the counter to that would be like their backup Kaminsky.
Giannis was dunking on.
No,
on
that's
Ayton.
wrong. That's why it makes me feel like they're not sold on Ayton is because they went to get JaVale McGee. So if you re-sign Kaminsky and you go get JaVale McGee, you have suspicion. You know what I mean?
Well, trade him then. Like this, if you don't think he's the guy, this is like the highest his value is going to be.
100%. Yeah, if you're not gonna sign him to a longer extension, trade him now. But I don't
be suspicious. Like, why do you want rid of him? No, he's good.
It's
Oh, he's great. I just don't want to sign him.
Sacramento's
it's not that. It says like, are you a max money player? Do I give you a max extension off your rookie contract? I don't think you are.
So here's the thing, and me and Mike talked about this on YouTube as far as the Michael Porter Jr. extension goes. There's a big difference between being worth a max extension and being worth to that team. And I don't know if, because Ayton balled in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. Like, he was a big factor of them getting out of the West. It was huge. But then, the finals came around. His defense was suspect for a lot of those possessions.
Than anything.
But here's what I'll say real quick about the whole DeAndre Ayton thing. And this is going to sound like me being a homer, but it's not. Anthony Davis, when he was healthy, was balling on DeAndre Ayton at the beginning of that series.
I'm telling you, bro, I play in a lot of rec leagues. On a fundamental level, everything DeAndre Ayton does in the post on the defensive side of the ball is wrong. It's like you need a big man to teach you how to play defense, bro, because if you would have did that shit against Olajuwon, he's killing you.
100%. Olajuwon dropped 60.
And that is like a glaring thing to people. You know what I mean? So there has to be the reason why they don't want to pay him. 100%. You don't let somebody reverse pivot out of the post and then you drop your hands with him. Because I'm going to shoot the ball over you.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going up.
He's still young, though. He's just as young
as
I
get that, but
Trey.
I don't know. Maybe I would give him a max extension.
And that's why I think he's not worth a max extension to every single team. But to the Suns, I think it makes sense to do it.
I think what frustrates me is like Ayton, I ain't going to lie, he did do good. He did deserve the extension. But if you were to ask me who's the better player, DeAndre Ayton or Marvin Bagley, Bagley's the better player.
Oh.
Ooh.
No. I won't go
Yeah,
that
I'm telling you, Bagley has skill. He's just in a shitty situation.
He is, but also 8 and 7'1".
I don't care.
You stop.
Aiden's athletic. I would take Aiden over those two.
You can't teach height.
What's Bagley? 6'11"?
6'9", 6'10".
Okay, that's just one elbow to the gut.
6'.
You're gonna come down to
Okay, yeah. If we're playing in the 90s, you know that they're gonna be calling ticky tacky ass fouls. You know that matters.
Man, yeah, that's tough. I like Aiden, and then the rest of the Suns team, which we didn't talk about much, like Booker is only getting better.
Booker has a real shot at winning MVP this year.
Hell no. Never
does.
in his life will Booker's
He
name
has
be-
a chance to win MVP. To say that he doesn't is ignorance at its finest peak.
Well, then I'm an ignorant ass dude because Booker ain't no MVP. Like, Booker is an all-star. The narrative that Booker has anything to do with Kobe was the dumbest shit in the world.
Oh, 100%.
I hate
Booker reminds me of a Ray Allen kind of player. It's like you're an amazing system two guard who could run off of every screen and light somebody up. But you're not going ones and beating somebody for a game. You're just not going to do it.
But the problem is that Booker was driving to the rim, floating above people. He was coming off screens, going to the free throw line, and knocking them down. Like, Booker was hitting every single thing. For you to say that there's no chance for him to win MVP simply because he drops 30, 35 a game, 30 a game, 28 a game, and leads the Suns to a second seed?
But who did he do that shit on in the playoffs? You did it against a beat-up Lakers.
He did it against playoff P, against LeBron, against...
And then we get to the finals. I ain't gonna lie. He lit the Bucks up in game 2. He lit them up.
1 and 2, he was on.
Yeah. And then they lost 4 straight.
He did that. They put Holiday in him. The dude might not have got 20 points again.
I mean, that's a little unfair because Holiday could do that against.
It's not because if you put Kobe on him, Kobe's gonna get 40.
100%, but here's the question. How many players play as good a defense as Drew Holiday in the NBA?
That's not the point.
That is the point, because if he scores 38, then he's going to win.
But you're saying that Booker should be an MVP candidate. In my mind, an MVP candidate means that you're going to put the team on your back. Booker has never did anything to show me that you're that dude.
Two things that will help Booker: finals experience and then Olympics experience, back to back. Usually when guys play in the Olympics and they don't just sit around all off season or privately train, they tend to take a bump up and do better than they did last year.
And also, as long as Chris Paul's on that team, I don't see Booker being an MVP candidate because even when he played next to James Harden, he's a good problem to have because he just gets in the way. Like, you can't dominate the ball with Chris Paul on your team. You just can't.
It's not about dominating the ball. It is
about dude, you can't say that this is not the 90s and not accept the fact that the MVPs in this league today are ball dominant players who put up numbers. The dude don't rebound. He does not assist. He doesn't steal. So you're going to have points and a good shooting percentage. That's not good enough to win the MVP.
Agree to disagree, sir.
Yeah, Zach did counter your argument with saying I am ignorant, so I don't know how you can double counter that.
That's true. At 2, I have the Phoenix Suns. At 1, I have my Los Angeles Lakers.
All right, so we just flipped them. The Lakers, I agree, will be a really good regular season.
The Lakers are fucking ruining the NBA, okay?
I don't think that. I think
Lakers,
they still got a
the
lot
Nets,
of work to do.
Every single one of these teams that has a fucking every single one of these teams that has a trio of former MVPs or MVP candidates or top tier all-star players, I want to express real quick, and this is nothing related to whatever we're talking about. You guys are ruining the NBA for somebody like me who genuinely loves it because every single year, we used to have no idea who would win it. We would think, oh, maybe LeBron's going to get there because, you know, he's pretty good. But then there would be another team like the fucking Celtics with the old guys. You have Kobe come back out of the West. You have the Spurs with the old dynasty, the fundamentals, the Grizzlies. There were so many options to win the NBA
And now what do the
championship.
Lakers have? They have 33% of the 2012 Olympic team.
We have a average roster age of 34 with one MVP candidate and 2 former MVPs. It is absolutely disgusting. I hate the fucking Lakers. I'm a diehard Lakers fan. I will love them till the day I die. But they are pissing me off.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Where it's not as bad as when it was Cavs Warriors for 4 straight years. but I do. That's why I don't. And we can end with finals pick, but I don't have Lakers Nets just because it seems suspiciously easy. Where there's so much that can go wrong with either of those teams. The Westbrook James fit, I think, will be fine in the regular season, but that's my biggest question mark for the playoffs. Is will those two work well together in the playoffs? And remains to be seen. But really, Anthony Davis is a guy. If he plays like he did in the bubble, if he gets back to that level of play, I think they're the title favorites to definitely make the title out of the West. But
100%.
if he gets hurt again or if he doesn't play as well, which I don't know. But
my thing is don't be surprised if they get into the playoffs and Russell Westbrook gets a lot of bench time.
I wouldn't be surprised. Here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Russell Westbrook comes off of the bench.
No, he's not coming off the bench, but they will give him the opportunity to do something stupid and sit him because Malik Monk's on that team.
Yeah,
He can
Malik Monk
straight
is
up
a
shoot.
dog.
Horton Tucker, a dog. You know what I mean? Like there's young
Hillbilly
dudes on that
Kobe,
team.
dog.
Tucker's hurt though. He just got which won't matter in the playoffs.
He'll be back in 3 or 4 weeks.
But how much of you does this team? I think way earlier Dylan said this team reminded him of the Nash Lakers team, which I disagree.
It doesn't.
No,
I disagree with that.
No,
what
because
about-
because go ahead.
I'm sorry, the Big Three Miami team the last year. It feels a little similar to that.
The
where you
last
have-
year.
I agree
Well,
with that,
that's-
but I would say it's a little bit better. And let me tell you why. Dwight Howard and Rajon Rondo will help that team in the playoffs again.
Yep. Also, real quick, nobody has mentioned this. We're talking about the Lakers. Carmelo Anthony is a huge pickup.
But that's why my next point is like where you were talking about all these old dudes that are on the team. The reality of it is I don't care that the Lakers are stacking those guys because nobody wants their sorry ass anyway. But if that team is coached right, it can win. And who do you want standing in the corner to shoot an open three more than Melo? Nobody. Melo at the 4, AD at the 5, LeBron at the 3. That should be pretty much enough to beat most teams in the West in the playoffs.
100%. Yeah.
Well, you remember that last Miami team? It didn't really get exposed until the finals, but their lack of depth when they were trying to roll out like Norris Cole, Miller, who was like 40, Shane Battier. So it's similar like that. They have a lot of older veterans on the bench, and they have one slightly younger star because LeBron wasn't old yet. So I could just see that though. I could see this team being a juggernaut up until the Western Finals or the finals. I'm not saying they can't win it all. They 100% could win it all.
I think they're the favorites, and that's
The
not
one
me being
player
biased.
that they're going to regret losing is Caldwell Pope.
Yeah, I don't know. Caldwell Pope.
Who's?
He get to the finals and he was fucking everywhere else besides there. I don't know.
But he
Caruso actually
always
did a lot. I
played
don't like Caruso,
defense.
but he
He
did a lot.
never turned the ball over. He made the few open shots he got. Like he was never a problem to me. Is he like he didn't?
He wasn't a problem, but getting Malik Monk and replacing him, I think is
No,
is
I
huge.
agree with that on the offensive side of the ball. But you have to agree with me that Monk will never play defense like Caldwell Pope.
Oh, 100% no, but that's why they brought Rondo back.
No, I get that too. But my only issue with the Lakers is like, what do you do if you have to play Golden State in the second round and them two light-skinned dudes is about to run you off of every pick? Who's going to keep up with them?
I mean, Russell Westbrook, I guess.
He has to, but then he's a liability on offense. So how does that work?
Yeah,
This Lakers team is fun though. They're a fun conversation team because of the age everyone talks about. But I think
I
more
almost feel
because
bad for LeBron because he's going to go with the flow the whole season and people are going to shit on him like, what is he doing? Why ain't he playing better? All these players, blah, blah, blah. Because his numbers probably won't be there, but he's just going with the flow.
He doesn't need to. He can kind of take it easy, which he needs at his age and his miles. And Westbrook never takes it easy, which was why I like the Westbrook pickup for the regular season. Do I think the Buddy Hield trade would have been better overall?
Yes.
Probably. Because in the playoffs, Buddy Hield would have been a monster for them. But Westbrook in the regular season could help him get a 1 or 2 seed, which does carry value, especially with all the fans being back down for the full season.
Yeah.
I could personally tell you why I think they brought Westbrook on that team.
What?
LeBron and AD are soft as hell. Like people try them. Like I'm gonna try to punk you. You don't try that on Westbrook's team though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Unless
why
you're Kevin Durant.
Westbrook's on that team.
And I think
That's why
LeBron
Dwight's back
respects
on that team.
Yeah.
I love the Dwight pickup. I missed Dwight last year.
He's the only dude that I know has 6 fouls and a technical foul in 8 minutes in a preseason game.
I love Dwight. All right.
Kenyon Martin.
He does remind me of Kenyon Martin. That's great. Okay. Finals matchup. Zach, who you got?
Lakers, Brooklyn. Brooklyn wins it.
Ooh, I got Lakers Bucks.
Damn it, James. I got Lakers Bucks too. And
I
7.
I have a feeling that one KD wishes he can have that last possession back, and that's going to rush
because he would wear a smaller shoe on the timeout.
It wasn't even that. The second time they ran that play in overtime, he premeditated the fact that he was going to shoot that ball. But if you go back and look at that play, he was wide open. You just go dribble the ball in your right hand, you go to the rim. You're down by 1.
Yep.
And he knows that.
Yeah, that's true.
It always comes down to that. No matter what season you look at, like I'm sure the Spurs look at that first Miami title and say like, "Oh, if only we would have put Tim Duncan in." And there's always 1 or 2 plays. And KD aside, I don't know. This Nets team is weird, and with all this drama,
if Kyrie doesn't play, I don't.
As ridiculous as it might sound, I think I think the Bucks can because they are pretty big. But the team that'll give them the most problems in the playoffs, Philly. And the team that'll give Philly the most problems in the playoffs, Atlanta. So it's like everybody gives each other a problem. You know what I mean?
We still haven't got Bucks Sixers. That's a matchup I'd love to see in the playoffs. We have not gotten that since
Eastern Conference Finals would be insane.
I think the Bucks will murder them.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
Yeah, but I just want to see. I want to see Embiid going against Giannis for a series. That would be awesome.
I don't want that narrative on Embiid. I don't want that.
You don't want Embiid to look stupid.
But yeah, you're right. Sixers Nets would be fun too.
Yeah.
He's second, just like last. Well, you could argue the first round is going to be fun too, but the second round of the East playoffs is good and are going to be awesome.
That's true.
Because that was the series of the year, Bucks Nets.
Oh man, I'm telling you, that was the game 6 or 7. Game 7 was the game of the year.
That game almost gave me a heart attack. Like
the only game that was better than that was the Bucks game that I think it was game 5 that Giannis blocked the alley-oop at the end of the game.
Oh,
that was nasty.
That game was sick, bro.
And then the next game when Holiday had that steal, which led to the
Oh no, the game of the playoffs actually, if we're being honest, was Portland and Denver when Lillard went off for 50.
Yep. That was nuts.
Those games were crazy, like 140 to 145. Like
that was a high scoring game. Melo had like 20 in that game, if I'm not mistaken. He was scoring too.
All right, so yeah, Bucks, Lakers, Nets, Lakers.
Yep.
Pick a dark horse each conference.
Dark horse each conference. If I'm choosing a dark horse for the West, I have to go Golden State. If yeah, I have to. I have to. If Stephen, Clay, and Dre and Iggy are all back, and I have to choose one person, the aliens are about to blow up the earth to take that last minute shot, I want Andre Iguodala.
All right, Max Kellerman, that shit got
I'm so glad you got that. Oh, I'm so happy right now.
Lord forgive me, but Luka and the Mavs.
Ooh.
Have you seen Luka just going Super Saiyan in the playoffs?
We've seen it before. He's the Clipper killer.
I'll say this. That's not a bad pick. Luka's problem is he's in his feelings too much. If one person starts chirping, Luka feels the need to say something back. And he never plays well after that.
But, I mean, if you look at like how I seeded the West, if they play the Nuggets round 1, like they could beat the Nuggets. It'd be a good series. And then I had the Suns at round 1. They could beat the Suns in round 2. And then it's like Lakers round 3, which would be tough. But
Great matchup. I love that.
So, yeah.
What about the East? You said
I'm going with Golden State myself, my man. I was calling it. I think that it'll be the Lakers and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals.
If we're talking dark horse, not Nets, Bucks, and I think the Sixers holding. If we're taking a dark horse, y'all gonna kill me for this. I want the Heat.
Oh,
I'm not gonna kill you. They make sense. I mean, they were just there. They have experience, but they're
built.
not gonna make it.
I mean, if we're not choosing the Nets, the Sixers, or the Bucks, I'm taking the Heat.
I just don't feel like they have enough bench scoring.
That's true.
I can't. I'm going with Atlanta, bro.
Yeah, I agree with Atlanta. Part of me really wanted to be really dark horse and do Boston, but then I thought about their roster and I was like, no.
I was gonna say New York Knicks, but then I was gonna call myself stupid.
Yeah, I like the Hawks. Like I wouldn't be like completely blown away if the Hawks. It'd be surprising for sure, but yeah, what they're shooting. and Trae Young being the villain. Yeah, so
I agree.
man, this was fun.
This was a ton of fun, and the NBA is back. Oh my god!
Back. When does it start? Tuesday? Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, Bucks
On
Nets.
the 19th. What's today?
15th.
Tuesday.
Ooh.
We got basketball, baby.
Oh, hey, and next Friday we come back, break down the first couple games we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
Early
my Lakers
action
are gonna be
live.
undefeated. Huh? What did you say, James?
No, yeah, breaking down games like live, and it'll be fun. There's gonna be some stupid team that starts like 3-0, like the Kings. They're
The
always
Kings. Yeah, I was gonna say the Kings are gonna
All right,
start out like.
let's call it now. What's the matchup that we want to see first to stream through? We got to stream through a game.
Well,
I
we
want
gotta
Lakers,
do-
Lakers Nets or Bucks Nets.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
What was
I
that
want.
one we
Hey,
had?
I'm a little biased.
Go ahead.
Like I think November 12th we have something like Jalen Green versus Cade Cunningham. If
That'd
he's
be a
back.
fun one.
I
That would
kind
actually
of want to see that.
What is the one we had on that one show? Was it Cavs Pistons?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Watching it, but we
Yeah.
watched it because there's all the bigs versus.
All
I'd
the
be down to
little-
do a game like that.
That would be cool. Two sorry teams.
Yeah,
Two
just like
sorry
crappy,
teams.
like Orlando against Cleveland.
Ooh. if you really want clips, let me watch Pascal Siakam.
No, I'm so excited. We
gotta
have
do
to.
a Raptors
We
game.
have to.
What would be a fun Raptors matchup?
Raptors, Rockets.
Raptors Clippers.
Raptors Heat too would be a good one.
Oh
The
yeah.
Lowry
Oh
thing.
yeah, the
The
Heat.
Lowry.
Lowry.
Siakam lights them up for 30.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
A lot. Yeah.
I'd have to go vomit.
Drink every time Siakam scores.
Oh my.
I will play that game, bro.
I
will
don't.
get a
I think I'm
bottle
gonna
of
hold
Don
off
Julio.
on the drinking
I
on
will
that
go
because
get a bottle of Don Julio for that. Every time he scores. I'll
Dog.
take
Pointers a shot.
that's
yeah.
gonna be the night he drops 44 out of fucking nowhere.
Man, well, I hope that we don't have a stream the next day because I'm gonna have to sleep that shit up.
All right, shit, boys. It's been fucking fun. This was great.
Yeah, I'm glad I jumped on.
Yeah.
We're back next Friday, people. So
Deuces.
get us back. Talk to y'all later. We out.
Variety Sports Network. Built